If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get alerts when we introduce new videos.
So in this module, we're going to focus now on the LoRa sensor and the processes to onboard sensors into the LNS through the already configured gateway. So as we look again at our network, the focus for this particular node is going to be on the actual onboarding and configuration of the node and where that is configured within the LoRa network server. So a couple of key things to look at when we're looking at LoRa sensors. There are lots of different sensors out there, from push buttons to motion or door contact sensors, location-based services, and also environmental sensors or parking sensors. Each one of these sensors will have different ways of gathering the data and presenting that into the LoRa network server and the application server, but to onboard them, they all share the same mechanism. To onboard a device into the LoRa network server through the gateway, you need to have a few key pieces of information. When the device is LoRa 1.0 compliant, you will have a device EU ID or device ID number, which is effectively its device's MAC address. It will also have a join EUI. This will be, again, a manufacturer-specific identifier, and quite often, depending on the manufacturer, it might be the first 4 bytes of the MAC address and then a predefined model version or something like that that define the last 4 bytes. The manufacturer may also just have a generic join EUI that is used across all of their devices, but that join EUI is going to be required to onboard the device. Then the next thing we need to provide is what we call the network key. This network key is unique to the sensor, and it is a long ASCII text hexadecimal string that is unique to the device and binds that device specifically to the owner and to the LoRa network server. You may also have, if it's a newer version of LoRa, it may also have an app key that will be similar to the network key but will be a different value. So depending on which one you're using, you may have just a network key or a network key and an app key. The key thing here is these will be provided to you by the manufacturer or by the supplier of your devices. Make sure you have those before you try and onboard any devices into the LoRa network server.
Okay, so now we know the relevant pieces of information. We need to now connect to our LoRa network server and onboard that sensor into the LoRa network server. So the first thing we do is we go to our LNS within our dashboard, and we can see our LNSs here. We can see the gateways that are currently configured, and we now need to go to our devices. So we need to open up the tab, and there is our devices view, and you'll see that there is currently no devices except for a simulator. So the first thing we do is we add a new device. So we now need to provide all the information about that device and how it is going to be configured and set up. So again, using the values and the keys that have been provided by the manufacturer, we can now add the device and we can enter in the device's EU ID within the window. So here we're entering basically the device MAC address using the hyphen nomenclature. So we have the full device EUID entered into the device EUID window. Next we need to choose an owner, and we need to define how we're going to update or communicate with the device. So we're going to use over-the-air updates. The device is a version 1 compliant device, so we need to enter in the version 1, and then we also need to now enter the device join EID. So this again is a very similar format to the device EUID, and again was provided by the manufacturer of the equipment. So once we've entered the device join ID, we now need to enter the network key. So again, this is provided by the manufacturer, so we can paste that in and we can now save that into the system. So the device has now been onboarded and set up, but it hasn't actually provisioned. So at the moment we're now waiting for the device to connect to the system. So during this time, it's a good opportunity now to put the battery into the device, into the sensor, and allow the device to boot up. Now when it boots up, the first thing it'll do is reach out on a predefined frequency and channel and look for any LoRa network servers or any LoRa network gateways that are out there in the network. And once those gateways are detected, it will provide its join EUID up to the LoRa network server and to the LoRa gateway, indicating that it's trying to join. The gateway will then in parallel communicate back to the sensor validating the keys and providing a secure connection between the sensor and the LoRa network server using the gateway as a transparent interface.
And there we go. So after a period of time, you can see that the device now session, that the device is connected. We can see that we've been given a device address. We can see that we've got the class has been identified, and we've now got this what we call a count. So we've got a count up and down. So you'll see that as we trigger an event on the device and send, you'll see that the counter will increase over time as we keep adding and changing event statuses.
So now that we've successfully onboarded the sensor, we can actually now look at the data and traffic coming in and out. So if we open up the watch window, we can see the traffic, and we can search based on time, see how much traffic has been coming in and out over a predefined period of time. We can also add some additional filtering in there. But the key one here is we can actually look at the raw data coming from the gateway. So here we can pick an event, we can pick a time slot, and we can actually now see the raw data coming in from the sensor through the gateway, and we can then decode that at a later date.